Hey guys, it's me, Nick, from Mount 80, and today we are here with another video talking about offensive decision making and what you can do to improve in your ranked games, whether it be in 3s or 2s, but just hopefully teaching you guys some of the tips and tricks that pros use and coaches go over at the highest level that you may not think about in either your ranked teams, whether it be, I'd probably say Platinum, Diamond, Champ, Grand Champ, SSL on up, or even at a pro level, because this is what the pros do. We are going through a couple different things today, specifically talking about first attacks and second attacks. And this is just the theory of, okay, how do you break into space and how do you decide what you want to do to use space? And also, how do you then sustain pressure and make the right decision, like Sekou did there, or like Itachi did there, that leads to them scoring. And this is actually the major final, because I would probably say Gentlemates, in my opinion, probably the best decision making in the world on offense. And it's really, really important to stress that a lot of these moves, everyone talks about pros mechanics and mechanics you can learn, but people often don't talk about when to use the mechanics or why to use the mechanics. Because at the end of the day, if I flip reset 6 times in a row, or if I score an open net, they do still count the same at the end of the day, which is quite good for me, at least. But I want to go over that with you guys. So we start off with this part of the play, and where I talk about optimal decision makings is this idea of, do you want to bang the ball or control the ball? There's a couple of pros and cons with each. One, with banging the ball, you're often going to speed up the play. It's really easy to catch teams out on defense. You can use the back wall a lot, and also it's really good for starving teams out. So for example, when we would play teams that were super defensive in net, there's a huge risk if you control the ball every time that you're basically baiting yourself in to get counterattacked. You bang the ball, it's more likely they'll double commit, it's more likely they'll use their boost, it's more likely they'll lose their discipline and start pushing out a net. It's just this idea of eventually you're not going to be able to sit in net. The reason why I like looking at it from this angle, and I think it is very, very important, is something like this, where I can't do it like that, so no, whatever, you're gonna see my Windows key pop up, so I can actually use the pen a little bit more. Sekou in this position, often what you will be told to do as you get better is you want to control the ball every time, but I think it's really important to look at plays like this where realistically G2 are on this entire part of the field. Where's all the space, right? I grew up playing football, playing soccer. I was a goalkeeper, so it didn't really matter much to me. But part of what your decision making does come into is, how do you play the ball in the space? The entire space is over here. It's also very, very important that I want to go to Sekou's POV here. This is how fast you should be able to make decision makings as you get to the higher level. Where is everyone? Daniel's on the left wall. Beast Mode's trying to land. Maybe he can, maybe he can't. You know, this is probably the biggest game of Beast Mode can get a dunk or not. But also Atomic is creeping forward. All the space is over their head. If he controls this ball, his team is in infinitely worse position. If he bangs this ball, he sees his teammate over here. He's able to just instantly cross the ball, and it's going to turn into Itachi actually getting a chance on net because of it. So it goes over Atomic. Itachi gets the one-on-one. And then even more brilliantly by Itachi. We were on Itachi's POV there, so that's my mistake. There it is. Even more brilliantly by Itachi. He's very smart to recognize. Okay. Where's the space? It's going to be behind him. And this is kind of a comms thing anyway. But it is really a Rocket League thing of just awareness. If you're first man, 90% of the time what the most effective thing to do is 50 it backwards. We often think about the game as if it's like, oh, forward. No. If you're going to want to control the ball, and that's what Gentlemates did so incredibly well, 90% of what it is, okay, where's the space? Space behind him, right? If he's able to 50 this ball backwards, one of them is going to get this ball, and he's either going to be able to go infield here, or he's just going to be able to straight up shoot the ball. What Itachi doesn't want to happen is the ball to get into the corners. More than likely this corner, just for the sake of argument. Because this is the least dangerous part of the field. You guys have all played the game enough to recognize this is not dangerous. Having the ball in the corner 90% of the time, it's just going to get stuck in the corner. Eventually it's going to pop out, where the true danger area is in front of the net. You can get it here, great. We'll do even a smiley face. You like that? That was smooth. We'll write that one down. This is where you want to be shooting from. 90% of the time it's not dangerous to shoot from here. Of course there's going to be open nets where it's like, oh, well, yeah, obviously you're happy with it. Most of the time this isn't dangerous. Unless it's on like a second or third pass, which, to be honest, I don't think it's going to happen, especially not in ranked. God knows people don't pass. But this is where control comes into it and often makes players really, really elite. So this 50 back, it's controlling the game. If he bangs this ball, there's a chance Daniel gets a block. Also him banging it probably to the corner actually drags the ball into the corner. Yeah, it may pop out, but also gives them time to get back. But it's that control that just gives them the goal here. And hopefully it started to show a little bit of difference in spacing of, oh, this is the type of stuff that opens up. When you go through every goal, what I want to go through is then this play as well, where Juicy takes his space on the first attack. But actually, you know, we'll go through the entire way. Ball gets banged out. Ball gets forced back. This is realistically where I'm saying the attack starts. Juicy has a free ball here. He's 100 boost. Takes the space on the first touch. He sees beast mode go up. And then this comes back to awareness. Where's the space? Just anyway. As long as he doesn't put this ball on net, Juicy knows his teammate's getting the second ball. Because if he hits this ball forward and he gets the beat on beast mode, who's going to get the ball? Daniel, right? But if he hits this ball in probably any, and we'll say backwards, right? But I don't want to zoom out the camera. I'm a little bit lazy. It's a little bit late at night. Any of this space or behind, his teammate gets the second ball. And they're able to build a lot of pressure. However, a lot of people's brain goes to this idea of forward, 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 forward. It's just not worth it. I can see where it'd be worth it if Sekou is here and he's saying, Juicy, please give the ball to me. I am so free right now. But more than likely, trying to score on first attacks and being super direct doesn't really work. It may work a little bit more in lower ranks because realistically, if you're air dribbling in plat, you're going to win most of the games anyway. It is really important to look for ideas like this. But then, why does Itachi take the ball? Or why does that Itachi control the ball? They just give him the entire space in the world. They give him all the space to take. We'll go from this point of view, because I like showing it from this. He has all the space. All he has to do is take a shot. He's obviously relying on Juicy to get the bump here. Juicy doesn't end up getting the bump here, which is fine. That's not a big deal. Ball gets saved out. Sekou goes direct. Ball starts getting sped up. And the more speed that happens, the more likely the ball is just going to get banged and forced back anyway. And then this is so brilliant from Itachi. Space opens up, takes it. All of Itachi's game, I won't say all of Itachi's game, a large portion of Itachi's game is based on the theory of how to take space. This is so smart from him of how he takes space. First of all, on this first attack, they take space, they force G2 back. Atomic dives. And then this is probably the biggest theory tip I can just say about general Rocket League. If you are trying to act, holy voice crack, if you are trying to become a top level player, first attacks are often to just create space. And we'll switch the color. First attacks create space. You're basically doing the work on the ball for your teammates. Often people think about the first minute creating space off ball, whether it be demos, whatever. But then second attacks, you will always have an option. So, what do I mean by that? There's always a right decision. You've already made them use boost. You should be scoring on second attacks if you're able to get the right pressure. So, for example, remember earlier in the video I said the most important area is this area, top of the box. So top of box. 90% of the time on second attacks, because someone's already panicked and made a save, People often rotate back wall, or they'll rotate for corner boost, or they'll just kind of do whatever. This is the area that gets forgotten about the most. And then you see what happens here with Itachi. All the space opens up. Juicy gets a free shot from top of the box. He had the chance to basically place it wherever he wants. And this is what being a truly elite level attacker can do. He can just shoot the ball wherever he wants. But all it was can you take space well? All it was can you take space well? It wasn't anything that absolutely shocks you where you're like, oh my god, like I can't do that. There will be times on things like this where there will be things you can't do. Where, once again, Juicy is the same idea as Itachi had. He controls the ball, slows it down, makes his play. The ball goes in the corner, so he sticks on. And then Itachi. Itachi is so smart. Once again, man, with his space awareness. He goes realistically... We're not on his point of view. Oh my gosh, now I got a psycho. He goes realistically, where is G2? And this is a little bit of comms as well. So it's not all going to be instantly, oh, this is what I recognize. And that's why I like to go to this POV, switch it out a little bit. All of G2 is in this area. Where's all the space? So this is G2 controlled. And basically anything, I'd probably say from here back, this is Genomate's ball. So Itachi winning this ball, even though he's winning the 50-50, is hurting his team. So this 50 back then turns into, oh my goodness gracious, Juicy has all the space. I talked about it, often teams will lose discipline. You see it here with Beast Mode, he just AFKs forward. Same with Atomic. One heavy touch puts actually Atomic and Beast Mode out of play. Atomic fully out of the play, but it also means Beast Mode then has to give up space. And it's a free ceiling shot. Gonna be honest, if you're above like Champ 2, you probably are able to just hit the ball high and just get a ceiling shot here. Yeah, just with how mechanics have evolved. Maybe GC1, but I would say roughly this. But it's so important to understand that space will always open up. And if Beast Mode, let's say, is sitting on the ground here, probably sitting back here. If Juicy makes this heavy of a touch, probably Beast Mode can honestly go for this ball. But because Beast Mode's here, this heavy touch is right above him. He has to go back. That creates all this space for Juicy to take. And then Beast Mode's just in no man's land. Also, Atomic doesn't really do a good job doing anything. But it all comes from the understanding of where's the space. What should I do? Because realistically, I'm going to say, if you want to rank up and you're in like Diamond and higher, if you don't feel comfortable going for a ceiling shot, which I don't really feel comfortable going for a ceiling shot. I don't have mechanics. Just bang this ball. If you bang this ball to the back wall 90% of the time, people are just going to panic and go, well, I'm too far forward. I'm in no man's land. You know how awkward it is to turn around, especially low boost, read a ball off the back wall, and see the ball still gets to this danger area. Someone from your team should come in and score. All it comes down to is basically, do you have the space? So, I want to go to one more game that stresses a little bit more about top of the box and the importance of taking space, and that's with M80 itself. Alright, so this is quite a dangerous spot for players to be. Here we have AJ, full boost, able to do realistically anything he wants in the world. And it just all comes down to decision making. So, first of all, we have a little bit of a demo on rotation. Oh, if you like that, there is a video about it. I don't know if it's coming out first or second, depends on my editor, of like how you actually create space. So great from yours here. His first touch takes him over first killer, and suddenly it turns into a 1v1. Why is this important? It's just this idea, if someone jumps realistically, go over them or 50 it back. You don't need to try and force the outplay. So something like this, AJ sees Jack jump. In AJ's head, it does not make sense for him to try and outplay Jack. Why doesn't it make sense for him to outplay Jack? If he slows it down realistically, it gives Jack a little bit more time to challenge, a little bit more time for him to make the mistake. Playing the beat here is the most important thing. Just get it over him. Even if he gets bumped off. I know in this goal AJ scores, and fair play to AJ on this, but it all comes down to how we take them out as a team. His first touch goes over first killer because of how much first killer pushes up. Told you, sometimes players just throw themselves forward. They make mistakes, even if they're the best player in North America, like first killer could be considered. And then it's just a 1v1. How do you outplay? Jack jumps, so Jack is actually covering the closer space. You know how I said with beast mode where, oh, you just got to go over him and then you'll get the next touch? Same thing here with Jack. Jack's too close to the play. He has to jump. AJ just has to get the beat. And I know you may be saying, oh, well, I can't do the double tap. Don't worry, neither can I. Realistically, even if he doesn't score this, it all goes back to first killer has to respect the double first of all. And even if he doesn't, and he just plays top of the box, 90% of people won't play top. I'd probably say 99% of people won't play top of the box. He's playing the shot here, and even if he turns, I'd probably say Nas is more ready for this ball. Like, there will be a few examples. Most of the time, it just comes down to, do you take your beats? Where's the space? Base it on the defender, because the defender 90% of the time has to make the first move anyway, and you can just tell based on positioning. I do want to go to the second goal as well here, where it's actually the same thing of people taking space. So we go to NAS POV for this, and this is where I get a little bit of mechanics of, okay, maybe you don't have these. AJ taking the space, first of all, it forces one of them to jump. It forces Chronic to eventually jump. Even though AJ's not a threat, you never know if a player has boost or not, so it forces him to dive. He then 50s it back because realistically everyone's just rushing back to net anyway, even though AJ's not that big of a threat whether he has boost or not. If AJ decides to outplay Chronic and bump Jack, first killer's not getting back anyway, so he shouldn't technically rush to net. And it creates this space at midfield. This is a good outplay from Nas, but he is going for the same thing of kind of trying to take, whether it be a 50 or an outplay. And then it's the same thing here with Chronic. It's a little bit more understanding here with Chronic where I get why he's going to net. But realistically, either Jack saves it or it goes in the net. If it goes in the net, Chronic's irrelevant anyway. But if Nas does get the outplay, the ball is going to bounce top of the box. And that's where you're just stuck in no man's land. And we've seen it so often that one touch high can put players in no man's land. And if they're on back wall, that's when you want to control the ball. So, hopefully, you learned a little bit from this video. And you can start to understand the difference between first attacks and second attacks. And also, when to control the ball versus when to bang the ball. And how to understand the space given to you in any type of game. And what to start looking for as your attack progresses. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you like and subscribe. If you want more coaching, feel free to check out my Metafy down below if you want more privatized coaching. And if there's anything else you want to see me do videos on how to improve and how to become a better player, feel free to let me know down below. Thank you so much, guys, and have a good day.